All right, this is going to be a fairly quick video, but I get this question probably at least two, maybe three times a week of people wanting to know what is the best place to move in Tacoma. So I'm going to tell you my opinion of where, and it's only my opinion of where would be the best place to live in Tacoma. First off, understand that by the year 2040, which is 22 years from now, the city of Tacoma is expected to grow by 64%. Now, that is a lot of people. Right now, Tacoma's sitting at around 200, a little less than 220,000 people. So, for the first time ever, it has passed the 200,000 population mark. And what they're projecting is that in 22 years, an extra 130 or so thousand more people are going to move to the city of Tacoma, not outside areas. We're talking directly into the city of Tacoma, the city limits of Tacoma. 130,000 people in the next 22 years. So you can imagine what that's going to do to the current road structure, which is not, the infrastructure here is decent in many areas. In other areas, it's lacking, but it's going to be tremendous. Tacoma is growing very, very fast, and you can tell. We've been here for a year in Tacoma. You can tell by the traffic patterns already things are escalating in terms of just the amount of people. But I'm going to cut to the chase because I know that you want to know, and the simple answer is downtown. I'm not talking about folks that are wanting to buy a house and what would be the best location and this, that, and the other thing, because that's going to really depend on so many different things. There's so many factors that you have to come into mind, that has to come into mind for you to make that type of answer. A lot of folks want to know what's the best place for the best area of the city for education and etc. When you look at Tacoma, it's going to be hit and miss in terms of the school. Sometimes the high school, and I've said this before, sometimes the high school is great, but the elementary school is bad, and vice versa. But your kid can go to any school in Tacoma, okay, as long as you provide them with transportation to that school, and as long as they have a spot for them, they can go to any school in the city. So it doesn't really matter in terms of exactly where you live, because your kid can go to wherever. However, downtown, you pretty much have that covered because you're going to have schools that are right there. The reason why I say downtown, and I'm directing this to people who have moved or are thinking about moving here shortly, and they're not looking for a home right away, they're looking to rent. This is mainly for people who are wanting to rent. I say downtown because that gives you exposure to what Tacoma is about. A lot of times people want to go and off into the middle of the city, into different areas, or they try to find the cheapest option they can find. And let me tell you, that's not really a good idea, because a lot of times you will end up in a neighborhood potentially that is not that good. And a lot of times that's where a lot of people come in and they talk about, oh, crime is horrible here and I got my car broken into. Some of those neighborhoods have had a history of that, and they have not yet, those areas have not yet kind of overcame that situation. Downtown, which has went through its boom years back in the 60s of being like where everybody went to basically its thug life years in the 80s and 90s, is now back up on its boom years, or getting there. And so there's so many things to do. There's tons of things to actually see. There's a lot of apartments that are going up. There's tons of transportation options. They're already starting later this year to expand the Tacoma Link light rail system. Pretty soon, in the next 7 years, they're going to start constructing the light rail line that will connect you all the way to Seattle. It'll take about under 40 minutes to get to the airport from here. So downtown, to me, would be the first place that you should actually look to rent, especially if it's a small family. If you're by yourself, or if you have a family of four, downtown would make a lot of sense. Pay the extra money and live downtown, because then you can investigate what would be the best place for you to live. Give it a year, rent for a year, find an apartment downtown. It's a lot safer generally in downtown than most other places in the city. Typically, a lot of places have parking garages, so that's a good thing. I would say take the stress out of it. Probably consider downtown. Don't look at Point Ruston. Don't look at Proctor Neighborhood. Don't look at University Place. Don't look at any of those places. Look at downtown first. Move in there. Find a place that you can afford. Try to get as much space as you possibly can, because some of those apartments are going to be kind of tiny. And then after that, look at the neighborhoods over that course of a year. Look at those neighborhoods that you find interesting and do a lot of research, and then make your determination of where you want to buy a home. That would be my suggestion, is if you're going to move here, move to downtown first and then figure it out from that point onward, because everybody's situation is different. Anyhow, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's going to be a short one, like I said. But until next time, I will see you.